Remember Poland? Sure, you know it's there on the map. Maybe you even have vague memories of high school history lessons. But in the grand scheme of European powerhouses, it often gets left out of the conversation. Well, here's the thing. Poland might just be the European powerhouse you never saw coming. Gone are the days of struggle and hardship. Think Phoenix rising from the ashes. That's Poland's story. It's quietly transformed into a modern force, flexing its muscles with a booming economy, a growing military, and some seriously smart strategic moves. This under-the-radar player is more than just a pretty place on the map. It's holding the key to Europe's future, and not for the first time. Imagine Europe in the 16th century, a continent awash in power struggles, alliances, and empires shifting like sandcastles in the tide. Enter the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, a behemoth sprawling over 1 million square kilometers, encompassing modern-day Poland, Lithuania, Belarus, Ukraine, and even nibbles of Estonia and Russia. It wasn't just big, it was Europe's heavyweight champion, mediating disputes between East and West like a seasoned referee. Remember the 30 Years' War, that messy brawl that tore Europe apart? Poland was there, playing peacemaker. Sound familiar? What made them such a force? Think Game of Thrones, but with less incest and more cavalry charges. The Commonwealth's military was a unique blend of Western and Eastern traditions, making them both fierce warriors and skilled strategists. They weren't just feared, they were respected, often called upon to guide and negotiate during Renaissance conflicts. Fast forward to the 21st century. The world's facing another East-West showdown, with Russia's actions in Ukraine sending tremors through Europe. And guess who's back in the negotiation game? Poland. This time, they're not just observing, they're actively bridging the gap between clashing ideologies. And let's not forget their military muscle. With the EU's strongest ground force and impressive spending that puts their NATO allies to shame, Poland has earned a seat at the decision-making table. But just like in the 16th century, Poland's power isn't just about flexing its muscles. Remember that unique blend? It translates into savvy diplomacy and strategic thinking, making them a valuable player in navigating this complex geopolitical landscape. This, though, is just the beginning of Poland's fascinating story. Remember the artistic brilliance of the Renaissance? Imagine that vibrancy transplanted to 16th century Poland, attracting scholars and artists across Europe. Unlike other parts of the continent wrestling with religious wars, Poland embraced religious and ethnic tolerance, fostering a flourishing cosmopolitan atmosphere. This openness fueled trade and economic prosperity, making Poland a key hub for international commerce. Innovation also flourished, with advancements in science, technology, and architecture. In some ways, this period foreshadowed the modern-day Renaissance we see in Poland today. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. While Poland strutted its stuff on the cultural and military stage, cracks were forming beneath the surface. The culprit? Their unique, but ultimately flawed, political system, an elective monarchy. Yes, Poland was practicing a form of democracy well before the United States existed. However, this system came with a major weakness, a lack of strong central authority. In its attempt to balance the interests of multiple groups, it suffered from internal divisions and a struggle for effective decision-making. Imagine a ship with multiple captains constantly arguing over the course. That was Poland's predicament. This vulnerability left them exposed to external threats, particularly the ambitious Russian Empire. The consequences were harsh. In the 18th century, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth was carved up like a prize by Russia, Prussia, and Austria. Soon after, Poland itself ceased to exist as an independent nation. But as you can expect, this wasn't the end of the story. Forget the notion of passive acceptance under the partitions. Polish history is practically tattooed with defiance, a relentless pursuit of self-determination. This fiery spirit burns bright even today, as witnessed by the million-strong protests that roared through Warsaw's streets in 2023 and 2022 and 2021, and well, you get the idea. During the brutal partitions, uprisings like the November Rebellion and the January Uprising were testaments to this unwavering will. Though they couldn't reclaim independence, their echoes resonated for generations, keeping the flame of Polish identity alive in the face of foreign rule. But fate seemed to have other plans. The 20th century storm, World War I, thrust Poland back into the geopolitical maelstrom. Its divided land, coveted by empires, became a ravaged battleground on the Eastern Front. From contested territory to a clashing point between East and West, Poland's fight took on a new, desperate dimension. Yet, even amidst the ashes, hope bloomed. The war's upheaval fractured empires, paving the way for Poland's long-awaited sovereignty. In 1919, the Treaty of Versailles recognized an independent Polish state, albeit with redrawn borders. But if you thought the struggle was over, you are in for a surprise. The Polish-Soviet War, 1919 to 1921, demanded that Poland fiercely defend their eastern flank. etching memories of sacrifice and struggle into the national character and further deepening the distrust of Russia. Decades of defiance forged in the fires of foreign domination, from the brutal partitions to the struggles against powerful neighbors like Russia and the Soviet Union, have indelibly shaped Poland's present. The nation's hard-won freedom resonates in its unwavering support for Ukraine's armed defense. Poles understand, perhaps better than most, the fragility of independence and the devastating cost of silence. That's why Poland is no mere bystander in shaping Europe's future. It knows the true cost of inaction. Remember the warnings issued by Poland on the eve of World War II? Just 5 years after a brief taste of peace, Poland's resilience was once again tested by the horrors of war in 1939. Left by its allies, France and Britain, to face Nazi and then Soviet occupation alone, Poland's resistance reached its breaking point, yet never truly broke. Partisan movements flourished, and the epic 63-day Warsaw Uprising, where the Polish Home Army, largely civilians, defied overwhelming odds, stands as a testament to the nation's unwavering spirit and determination to reclaim freedom. But this wasn't to be. World War II ended in 1945, but for Poland, the fight for sovereignty wasn't over. At the Yalta Conference, their borders were redrawn once again. While gaining territory in the west, they suffered painful losses in the east. This reshaped Poland's landscape, but also set the stage for another period under foreign influence, this time under the Soviet sphere during the Cold War. Life under Soviet control wasn't easy. Economic hardship and political oppression became hallmarks of the era. Yet even in these dark times, seeds of change were sown. The 1980s saw the rise of the Solidarity movement, led by the iconic Lech Wałęsa. This peaceful resistance movement became a symbol of hope, eventually leading to the fall of communism in Poland and influencing the course of European history. With freedom regained in 1989, Poland embarked on a remarkable transformation. Their economic restructuring happened at an astonishing pace, fueled by a thirst for progress and stability. By 2004, they achieved a major milestone, joining the European Union. This wasn't just a symbolic return to the European fold, but also the beginning of a new chapter marked by unprecedented growth and development. Membership in the EU unlocked vital funds that poured into infrastructure, education, and other crucial areas. This, coupled with their own resilience and strategic focus on innovation and technology, propelled Poland into the ranks of Europe's economic powerhouses. Notably, they weathered the 2008 global financial crisis, showcasing their strength compared to other European economies. But economic success wasn't Poland's only focus. Recognizing the importance of security, Poland actively bolstered its military might through advanced weaponry and international partnerships. In a context where a unified European foreign policy remained elusive, Poland's strong military presence served as a deterrent to potential adversaries. But the benefits of having Poland in the European fold go beyond defense. In a world of shifting alliances and political landscapes, having a strong and reliable ally closer to home strengthens the entire bloc, fostering greater self-sufficiency. Furthermore, Poland's geographical position at the crossroads of Eastern and Western Europe makes them a crucial bridge between the two regions. This unique location grants them significant influence among Eastern European nations, particularly those with similar concerns about Western liberalism. Looking ahead, Poland's political future suggests a possible closer bond with Western Europe. The newly elected government under Donald Tusk, a former EU president, is expected to pursue a pro-EU agenda, solidifying Poland's position within key organizations like NATO and the EU. To find out more about why Poland hates Russia, check out our next video, linked here. See you there!